Coming up on Good Morning Waverly, are you ready for the camping season? Crawdaddy Outdoors will be here sharing safety tips all campers should know.
And Brett Mathias from Waverly Area Economic Development is here to talk about job postings in the area and how you can land that job you've always wanted.
And will we start to see summer temperatures? We'll show you in your full forecast. You're watching Good Morning Waverly.
Happy Friday and Good Morning Waverly.
Good morning, Waverly. I'm Nicole Lyons.
And I'm Kelsey Bemis, and welcome to the final episode of Good Morning Waverly for the school year. And what better way to begin the show than a look at some of the temperatures you can expect to see around the state this weekend. In Des Moines, we'll see a high of 86 degrees. Davenport in the lower 80s, 82 there. Sioux City will also see that high of 86 degrees with a low of 67. Cedar Rapids back down to that lower 80s, 82 for the high there with a low of 64. And as we carry into Sunday, going to cool off just slightly. Des Moines will see a high of 83 degrees, low of 64. Davenport will see a high in the mid-80s, 85 degrees there with a low of 67. Sioux City just a little cooler with a high of 80 degrees and a low of 61. And Cedar Rapids in the lower 80s, we'll see a high of 83 there with a low of 65.
The former Bremer County recorder pled guilty Monday to 2 charges following her arrest in February. Donna Ellison of Waverly pled guilty to felonious misconduct in office and third-degree theft. Ellison resigned from her 8-year position on February 13th, one day after her arrest. She originally pled not guilty on March 14th, but filed a plea request on April 16th. Current recorder Melissa Davis was appointed to serve out Ellison's term and says she plans to run for a full term in November.
4 council seats in Waverly will be up for grabs this November, and Mayor Brunkhorst says he is debating a third term. Council representatives for Wards 1, 3, and 5, as well as one of the 2 at-large jobs will be on the ballot. Gene Libb, Tim Congas, Wes Gade, and Kathy Olson will all make their official announcements soon on if they will seek re-election. Mayor Bob Brunkhorst also is up for re-election in November, but said he is at a crossroads due to wanting to spend more time with family.
Thanks to the help of WSR teachers, 8th grade students, and 1 graduate, the school is now able to teach hands-on learning like never before. The Go Hawks have recently started a Grow Hawk garden, which gives students the chance to care for and grow their own flowers. In addition to flowers, the kids will one day grow other plants. WSR graduate Ryan Reeder, owner of Reeder's Lawn Groomers in Waverly, donated his time and equipment to help make this long-time plan a reality.
Another class in town is tackling a new project, but by studying animals instead of plants. Mrs. Jeannie Coughlin's 2nd grade class at Southeast Elementary School has taken what started as a nature lesson to a new level by aiming to educate the public. After her students asked why they never see bluebirds by the school, Coughlin decided to make it into a lesson plan. The students have created signs along the trail behind the school to help inform walkers what creatures live in the area.
Students and the community have the chance to get down and dirty this weekend for suicide prevention. The Tough Night 5K Mud Run will be this Saturday, May 18th at the Waverly Boy Scouts Camp on Grand Avenue. The run begins at 9 a.m. Registration is open to the public all the way till the beginning of the race. People are able to compete alone but are encouraged to go as a team.
Motto for the race is run when you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must, just don't give up. And so you can register as a team, and we kind of push that to getting a team together, working through things together, pushing through and never giving up, and that goes right hand in hand with suicide prevention.
And will you be participating?
I'm actually going home this weekend, but I wish I could. It looks like a
lot
of fun.
It does look interesting. I'm not much of a runner, so I don't know about 5K, but if you can crawl, I could probably handle that.
Yeah, but she said that it wasn't all running, it was obstacles and stuff.
The mud's just a little iffy to me.
Coming up on Good Morning Waverly, we'll talk to Brett Mathias from Waverly Economic Development about some skills needed when applying for jobs.
And we'll have your full week forecast coming up next after the break. You're watching Good Morning Waverly. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. The time is currently 7:06. And we'll begin by taking a look at what you can expect to see outside tomorrow. We'll see a high of 86 degrees there, relative humidity of 53%, wind, just a slight wind, 11 miles per hour there, coming in from the southeast with a dew point of 62 degrees. And as we carry into Sunday, it'll cool down, but just slightly. 83 will still be the high there. Relative humidity, once again, 60% there. Wind southeast picking up just slightly, 15 miles per hour, and a dew point of 66 degrees. Now we can take a look and see kind of what you can expect to see. Different cities across the state here. Des Moines will see a high of 86 degrees. With a low of 67 degrees. Davenport, a high of 82, high of 86 as well in Sioux City, and then 82 again in Cedar Rapids. And as we switch to Sunday, going to be relatively the same there. We'll be in the mid-80s once again. We'll see a high of 83 in Des Moines, Davenport a high of 85, high of 80 in Sioux City, and 83 in Cedar Rapids. And as we continue through the week, we are going to see some chances for thunderstorms, some slight rain coming in there. Sunday we'll see a high of 83, 78 for Monday. Continuing to cooling off. Tuesday we'll see that high of 73 degrees, high of 70 on Wednesday. So storms as we carry throughout the week, but shouldn't be anything too bad. We're staying in those upper temperatures, thankfully, for a little longer. So.
Thanks, Kelsey. With college graduations quickly approaching, the hunt for that perfect job has begun.
With over 100 job openings in the Waverly area alone, this search can be overwhelming. Brett Mathias of Waverly Area Economic Development is here to give us a few tips on where to begin looking for jobs and how to impress you in your interview. Thank you, Brett, for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Now, first, according to your site, there are over 100 job openings kind of in the Waverly area. What fields are these in, and how can people learn about the openings?
Sure. Well, first off, there's several jobs in different sectors. There's everything from finance, health and medical, manufacturing jobs are available. And that's the interesting point. A lot of times when people think, oh, there's jobs open, they always hear about factory jobs in manufacturing. But the Waverly area really has a lot of jobs in a lot of different sectors. And then the second part of your question is, how can they find out about these jobs? They can go to our website, and that's waverlya.com/careers.
Why do you think there are so many job openings available?
Yeah, that's a good question. At first we weren't sure, maybe a year ago when we started to see the growth, and now it's really, as you mentioned, Kelsey, over 100 and some jobs. Businesses are growing right now. If you look at the stock market, all-time highs, there's a little more revenue maybe possibly coming into businesses. And we think there's some growth happening within the areas, and that's one of the big reasons for the growth. And then the other reason is because some of the retirements that are happening, they have to backfill those jobs and positions.
Okay. And switching now kind of to the application process, what would you say is the most important thing to remember for those graduates who are just looking for a job?
Networking. It's one thing to see a job on a website and apply, but if you know possibly someone who works there or a friend who knows someone who knows someone, it's not that they're trying to get you the job per se or give you an unfair advantage, but they can inform you with some great advantages about information that, hey, they're looking for someone with this specific skill set. They're looking for someone maybe with 3 to 5 years or whatever it might be, but that networking will really help you get your resume to the good pile versus the pile that finds the circular file.
And talking about resumes, how do graduates make their resumes stand out?
Yeah, you bet. First off, take advantage of resources. For example, Derek Solheim here in the Career Services is outstanding in resume help and finding out what's fresh and kind of what is the latest and greatest in resume help. The other thing is give it to maybe a mentor or somebody that you really trust to critique it in a very harsh way. I always say wear your flak jacket, get ready for a few punches in the ribs, but having someone else look at it from the outside can benefit you before you send it to that job application site.
Okay, and then once you actually get to the interview, what are some things that might stand out either positively or negatively to someone looking to hire?
Sure, I'm going to tell you something not a lot of people like to hear right out of the gate, but the first thing is be willing to do whatever that position is. Not everybody can be the CEO right away or the person in charge, so make sure that you tell them that you want to work hard and are willing to do whatever it takes to climb the ladder.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Coming up after the break, warmer weather means camping season has begun. We've got all the safety information you need to make your camping trip a good one.
And there are movie stars among us. Several Wartburg students are here to tell us about their upcoming short film. You're watching Good Morning Waverly. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. The time is currently 7:43. Now, as summer quickly approaches, area campgrounds are opening to visitors. Many first-time campers are unaware of the dangers of the outdoors.
So Darren Siphan of Crawdaddy's Outdoors is here to tell us of the importance of camping safety and to give us a few tips on how to pitch a tent. Thanks for joining us, Darren.
No problem.
Can you tell us a little bit about the different types of tents you guys sell?
Yes, we have in our store some tents that are for backpacking purposes, where it's a solo tent if you're going to go by yourself. We also have 2 to 4 person tents, but we also have family camping tents as well.
Can you kind of explain what do we have here today?
This tent here is for backpacking purposes, but you could also use it for car camping as well. It's a 2-person tent. You know, sometimes a 2-person tent maybe is a little snug for 2 people, depends on who you're sleeping with. So sometimes people bump up a size in a tent just to give them a little bit more elbow room.
Okay, and with pitching this kind of tent, what's kind of the most important thing to remember? How do you go about doing that?
You know, it's a lot easier to set up tents today than it was 20, 30 years ago. 20, 30 years ago, you had all these tent poles everywhere. They weren't shock corded together, so you didn't know what went together, so it was a big production. Anymore, poles are all shock corded together, where it's very easy to know what goes together. You just put them in the corners, hook them all up, and this literally took 15, 20 seconds to put up.
All right.
And what are some safety tips that you have for people who are going camping?
One of the things that people sometimes don't think about is they set up their tent, they have their campfire, but they don't think about which way the wind is blowing, that if the embers and smoke will go into their tent or onto their tent, so then they start burning holes maybe on their tent or have smoke in their tent all night. So just thinking about those kind of things is great.
And when it comes to pitching a tent, now what are some areas, kind of designated areas that people are allowed to do this? Can you pitch a tent anywhere?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of private property out there, but we have lots of county and state parks here in Iowa. And here in Bremer County alone, we have 4 county parks, and we have probably 15 other parks within a half an hour of Waverly.
Okay.
And can you go camping on all those parks, or are there certain parks where you can't go camping?
All the parks you can camp, and there will be usually designated camping spots. Some of the wildlife areas, you can camp in those. Just check with each individual county conservation board to find out what their rules are.
Okay, and then you also brought a couple other things here. I can see we have...
Yep, just have a sleeping bag, and then we also have a sleeping pad. You know, a lot of
Okay.
people don't think about the sleeping pad and having something comfortable underneath them. They're on it for 8 hours a night. You want something comfortable to sleep on.
Okay, and these are in the store as well? You can purchase these?
Yeah, we have those for purchase, but we also rent all of our gear and equipment in the store. So if you want to rent a tent, a sleeping bag, a canoe, a kayak, backpack, whatever, we have all that stuff for rent.
All right.
Also, you said a lot of families go camping. What are some of the benefits of when families go camping together?
I think it's, you know, a different kind of time. You know, so many times, you know, families are involved in sports and activities, and it's a chance for them to relax, sit around the campfire, learn about the outdoors, go fishing, just enjoy the outdoors a little bit. I think it's a good way for them to get out.
All right, and Crawdaddy's offers different kind of excursions, is that correct? What are some
Yes.
of the things you offer in that field?
We have classes to teach people about some of these different outdoor activities. We have 1-day river float trips. We have 5 to 7 day sea kayaking trips. And so like this weekend, we have our beginner backpacking trip down to Shimmick State Forest in southeast Iowa, teaching people about backpacking. In a month, we'll be going to Lake Superior to go sea kayaking for a week-long trip.
Okay, and how can people get involved in this?
They can check out our website at crawdaddyoutdoors.com. We also have a newsletter that has all those different events on there as well.
All right.
Have you seen camping supplies, their sales kind of lower than in past years due to all the cold weather we've been having?
Well, this spring our sales of kayaks for sure have definitely been down, but they'll eventually get caught up with the warmer weather. But the last few years we've actually seen an increase in camping sales, because when the economies are down a little bit, people don't go buy the big RVs and don't go to big resorts in Colorado and Minnesota and places like that. They stay local. They buy a tent. They go camping. It's a little cheaper to go camping.
All right, and what's the benefit at buying at a local business like yours as opposed to a chain like Walmart or Scheels or something like that?
Well, every store has its purpose, whether it be Walmart or Scheels or our store. Usually when you come to our kind of a store like Crawdaddy Outdoors, our staff knows what we're usually talking about. We've been camping, we do those kind of activities. We can help best pick the right thing for you and answer those kind of questions for you.
Okay.
What are some other tools that campers should have when they go camping to kind of have them set for the whole time?
Okay, besides the tent, the sleeping bags, the sleeping pads, maybe some kind of light like a lantern We used to have gas lanterns, and they're still around, but most people have gone to LED and battery-operated lanterns. A lot safer than the old gas lanterns. You need your way to cook your food, whether it be a stove or cook over the campfire, your pots and pans. People sometimes load up too much stuff to go camping. They need to just relax and have a good time and don't worry about all the stuff from home.
All right, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Coming up, a couple Wartburg students are putting on a short film. They're here to talk about what it takes to make a movie. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. While Wartburg's May term may be a time to get outdoors and enjoy time with friends, one class is proving that this does not mean great work can't be done.
The Communication Arts short film class has spent the last 2 weeks producing a short film that will air for the community next week. Here to tell us more about the experience and all the hard work put into making the film are students Simon Sager and Hunter Gray. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Oh yeah, thanks for having us.
Can you guys tell us what the basic plot of Chasing Neptune is?
Sure, yeah, so Chasing Neptune basically follows two college friends who love playing music together, and they love being out there and performing, and they hit a lucky break, and there's a record producer who discovers them, and he kind of sweeps them away to Chicago, and then the story kind of follows their journey in Chicago and the struggles with one of them wanting to be famous and one of them not really wanting to be famous, and the record producer adds a girl into the mix, and so that causes sort of a love triangle and really puts their friendship to the test and all other relationships also.
All right, and this was all written by students. So where did the idea for the film come from, and kind of what was the writing process like?
Sure. Well, our initial idea was given to us by our professor, Travis Bockenstead, who's the executive producer of the film also. And it actually kind of stemmed from our main actor here, Mr. Gray. It was kind of like we wanted to do something musical, and so Travis gave us like a basic plot outline of do something where a college student gets a record deal. And so we were like, okay, and with that we just ran, and there was a lot of brainstorming and twisting things around, and then eventually we just kind of collaborated all the ideas of all the writers, and we came up with Chasing Neptune.
All right. Now, Hunter, what made you interested in acting and sort of helping out with this?
Well, initially when people had approached me with it, I said no. I didn't think it was for sure my thing. I was kind of skeptical about it. And actually the night of the auditions, someone who was involved texted me, and I was like, okay, what's the movie about? And they told me what it was about. I was like, okay, I guess that's kind of my thing, being about a musician and stuff. So I said, okay, I guess I'll come check it out. So I came here and checked it out, and it ended up being kind of fun. So now I'm really glad I did it. It was an awesome experience.
And how would you describe briefly your character?
Well, it kind of goes through a character arc, as you called it one time. And he starts out pretty vigorous and, kind of a college musician. Once the fame, he gets experience in the fame, the producers like exploiting him a lot. He kind of gets carried away by that, and so.
And really quick, how can people see this film?
Sure, well the premiere is May 21st at the Waverly Palace Theater, 5 p.m. Free admission for all. We encourage getting concessions because they're letting us use their facility for free. But yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be hopefully a sold out show, so pretty exciting.
All right.
Hunter, I know you have a song that you have ready for us.
I'll play part of a song from the movie a little bit here.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
It's called Every Way I Can. If you could see me on my better days, would it really matter anyway? When I wish you were here, you just threw it away. Well, if I reach my hand out into this darkness so unknown, would I find you there? Would I face it alone? And I want me to, and I need you too. Could I be the sparkle that your eyes have lost? Could I share the smiles that have gone so far? In all the ways I can, in every way I can. Could I chisel out a beating heart from stone? Could I save you from the fear of carrying on alone? In all the ways I can, in every way I can.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
And we'll leave you with the movie trailer.
Our next group, our very own Chasing Neptune.
This weekend is Star Trek Into Darkness. The Enterprise faces challenges with life, death, love, and even friendships falling apart. Starring in Star Trek Into Darkness are Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, and John Chow. And I guess I've never really been a fan of the Star Trek movies. I guess I'm much more interested in the one we were just talking about, Chasing Neptune. So I would much rather see that. So we're going to take a look really quick at that and kind of see that trailer.
I'm in Iowa.
You're supposed to be in Chicago.
The next flight to Chicago doesn't leave until 10 a.m.
Deliver me a band by tomorrow, or you're done.
Guess I'm getting a hotel tonight.
And for our next group, our very own Chasing Neptune.
Follows the road, you don't know where to go.
And all this hot weather has all of us thinking about one thing. When are those pools going to be opening up? The Willow Run Country Club in Denver is opening their pool the week of June 10th. Waverly's pool is open on May 28th from 4 to 8 p.m. When school gets out, those hours will change. Cedar Falls Aquatic Center will be open on May 25th.
Have a good day, Waverly.
And thanks for joining us.